running shit over. Shout out to everybody who was on my Facebook status yesterday and had something to say. Oh my gosh. First of all, hand claps for y'all if I remember where the hand claps at. There we go. Hand claps for y'all. For those who do not know what I'm talking about, I follow a young man on Facebook. Shout out to Dre, that's his name. And he said he made an interesting status that I just reshared. And his status said, here we go, drum roll. Where the hell is this shit at?
We've talked about this before.
Absolutely. He said the original poster was Daryl Bryant. Daryl said going 50-50 with a woman and expecting her to be submissive is wild. So when he said that, I reposted it and said, yo, I said this on a podcast and I got kicked out of a group chat. Now, I've been kicked out of several group chats for things I've said on this podcast or others. So with this one, I just posted it to be funny. Boy, I didn't know that all what came with it was going to come with it.
People get serious about this this submission thing, man.
Yes.
And truthfully, oh man, we're just not in that era anymore.
What era is that? Exactly?
That era of where men were practicing. Okay, let me say it in a way that people could disagree. We're not in an era where women have to be submissive to men anymore, right? All right, now
first thing,
the reason for that, right? Because that's not really the answer, but that's something that people can disagree with. Mm-hmm. Because you got the one side that's like, oh, all men were shitty. Your granddad was shit. He was an abuser. Like none of that shit.
Cheater.
Like my granddad was dope as fuck. I ain't saying they didn't cheat.
Yeah.
But I'm also not saying my grandmas didn't cheat. Right? Like I understand human sexuality and human nature enough to not put anybody on a pedestal.
Okay.
Nobody.
Fair enough.
So so you got the one side of what they don't have to anymore. But the truth of the matter is, hypergamy isn't being practiced now. Back then, grandpa, the work that he had to do, which was more strenuous and, more laborious.
Yeah.
That paid more.
Absolutely.
Right? Women didn't have white collar jobs. Women were not managers and CEOs and all these other things. So there was hypergamy that was being practiced. The problem is we don't live in a society that we practice hypergamy anymore. So we're in a 50-50 society.
Yeah.
So that ideal of submission, I think I even posted that, in the comments, and one of your people tried to get snippy with me too.
Oh yeah, shout out to Angela, man. That's the homie.
Don't you ain't gotta say her name. You comparing yourself to God. Like, goddamn.
Okay, so all right, so let's talk about
what I said.
That is not what you said. And that's the Puerto Rican in her. She came out of nowhere.
Well, I mean, but it goes to the point. That's the fight now, right? Like, between men and women, it's this constant fight, even when there's not a fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like anything that a man does for a woman, there's less gratitude and there's more expectation, right? And that puts us in a society where, as a man, you do want to feel favored, in some sense, right? Like, she likes me, she fucks with me, she gives a fuck about what I do, and that's not unfair.
Yeah.
But we live in a society where it's just like, what men do, whatever, right? Like, man's a good dad. Well, he's supposed to be a good dad. They don't say nothing about women being good moms, and it's like, well, I mean, they also don't say anything about women being bad moms. When the last time you saw any post about does bad moms exist?
Nah, because homegirl killed her daughter and it was on the news. She got off with it and she went on tour.
Yeah,
that white girl did that shit years ago.
Anthony.
Yeah, whatever.
In Florida.
And she got a doc. It's like,
yeah, so it's one of those things like
she was stressed.
Yeah, I mean, there's really no narrative of a bad mom, but God forbid that men are seen as good dads. When the truth of the matter is, having a solid dad does more for a child than anything else. I mean, dads can't breastfeed, can't birth, but when it comes to that calmness, that stillness, that that self-confidence, all that shit comes from a man. All that shit comes from, let's put it like this. All that shit comes from a dad, right? I shouldn't say it comes from a man because then the stepdaddies are going to run in and think that I'm applauding them, and the women that hate their biological dads are going to run over there to that shit, and then people that hate men are going to hate it. So what I mean to say is the dad is a lot.
I was laughing because there's this thing where it seems like the term submission comes from a religious background,
Yeah.
Or and it gets stressed from people who have religious backgrounds. So the first thing that came up was like, hey, first things was people comparing submission. Is it based off the amount of money you make? Second thing, I was trying to stress to some people, I was like, yo, stop comparing stuff to the older days when your mom didn't work or your grandmother didn't work. And then even further than that, where they worked, but they still were getting way out earned by men. And so then we turned into, I was like, hey, even in the Bible and things of that nature. And then somebody came on there and was like, nah, actually in the Bible, they didn't, it wasn't based on money. And I'm like, well, and I think I said to you in a group chat, I was like, yo, how are things not compared to money? If one person is not working, they taking care of the home and not bringing in any income, it's easy for that person to say, hey, I'm submitting to the person that's bringing in income. And then I think that's when we started talking about that. And then you brung up the whole fact of, look, it's easy to expect or hope for submission, but it's almost a gift. You know what I'm saying?
It is a gift. Like, submission is not automatic.
Absolutely.
And again, so to your point, a lot of people bring it up because they are from the Abrahamic faith, right? So they're either going to be, Judaism, Christianity, or Muslim. Mm-hmm. So there's this expectation that, women should be, submissive.
Yeah.
But, it's beyond that now, because submission is a gift. And one of the things, because people have these religious backgrounds, it's really easy for me to try to say, all right, this is the part you're leaving out, right?
Yeah.
So if you have a religious background, like God, isn't religious. God is a entity.
Absolutely.
He has agency. He's not religious at all. But since we follow him through religion, one of the things that God expects from man, as in mankind, is submission.
Yes.
Right? But humans have free will. So
Absolutely.
a human can decide to be submissive or not be submissive to God. That is a choice. He has a choice. Now, when you come to the New Testament, I'm going to give you a little bit of Bible study today.
Let's
Pastor
do it.
Mike will. When you come to the New Testament, when the temple veil was rent in twain, then that took you into the dispensation of grace. One of the things we talk about in this podcast a lot is grace and mercy. Like, those are masculine traits that you got to understand. So now that you're in this era of mercy, that means that even if you're not submissive, right, the rain is going to fall on the just and the unjust. Mm-hmm. The just is going to be, taken care of, and the unjust is going to be taken care of. Bad people in this world get extremely wealthy.
Absolutely.
And rich people in this world do not, right?
Absolutely.
So there's not a justice there. There's not this ideal that submission is required, for your quote unquote blessing.
Yeah.
Submission is required for favor. Mm-hmm. So what I tell men now is like, yo, this conversation, trying to have a conversation of, I want a woman to be submissive to me. Like, no, like that's not what you're really looking for, right? What you're looking for is, let's call them the 3 C's. And let's start using this on the podcast.
Okay.
You looking for a woman to be cooperative, compassionate, and considerate.
Absolutely.
All right. If you get those 3 things, trust me, you're not going to feel bad that she don't accept the fact that she calling herself submissive.
Yeah.
And we have to also understand that submission is a gift. And what I mean by that is, using back to the religious inference, if you are submissive to God, and because God also requires you to thank him, right? Praise. If you are submissive and you offer up praise, that gives you favor.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same way in a relationship. If you are a man that can provide, protect, and you have excess, and a woman offers you submission as well as gratitude, then that is going to curry her favor. And vice versa. As a man, you do those things, it curries you favor. If you don't understand what your standard is, like who you are has to become your standard. It cannot be an if then. Yeah. Like, if a woman does this, then I'll do this, right?
Bruh.
And
who wants to be in that relationship too?
But that's the thing. That's almost all the conversations that people have now. Like, when you talk to a woman these days, it really seems like it's like, well, if you do this, I'll be this type of woman. I don't know how y'all do it. I can't do it. I cannot do an if then type relationship.
Absolutely not. Well, speaking of relationships, Mike, imagine the mother of your child.
Okay.
Let's say, because the mother of your child, she only has sisters.
Yes.
But let's say she had a cousin. And he was like, you know what? Mike, when I see you, it's on site.
Definitely.
We got to scrap.
Yeah.
And so you see him out, y'all at a bowling alley. And It's going good. Y'all
We just so happen to be at a random bowling alley. Well, we get invited.
Look, man. From all accounts, DaBaby was just at a bowling alley.
Oh,
he was at
it's Baby and Dana.
He was at what's Summer Walker's baby daddy? He was at DaBaby was at his birthday party.
Oh, they had a birthday party. Okay,
and so
that makes sense.
So Danile's brother shows up, talking spicy, and a brawl breaks out.
Yeah, you got to kind of expect that.
Who was right? Who was wrong? And what's your take on that?
Well, okay, so I don't have all the details on the story, but if you tell a man when I see you is on site, and then you see him, well, shit, it's on site.
It's on site.
I can't fault whoever was already there, right? Yeah. So I don't know if the brother was there or if DaBaby was there.
It clearly got to be DaBaby.
So if DaBaby's already there and he shows up and he says that it's on site, then like anything you receive at that point, that's on you. That's on you.
Absolutely. Let me tell you. At first, when I saw the video, I was like, "Here go DaBaby again in some shit," because he always finds himself in some mess. We just got finished talking about him probably about 5 episodes ago. So here we are again, right? And then I'm looking at
how old is DaBaby though?
He's a little bit younger than me. He probably got to be like close to
28, 29.
Yeah.
Pocket full of money.
Too much money.
Yeah, like, man, trouble's going to find you until you get away from trouble. Like, that's just going to always be the case.
Absolutely. And so, I'm looking at it and I'm like, my issue with DaBaby is the type of activity he does, the type of energy he keeps bringing around him, you either end up in jail or dead. Like
it's definitely energy. It's definitely energy.
Yeah, and it's like some of that he puts out, and then like you said, you young, you black, you successful with a bunch of money. Somebody's gonna find you.
Yeah, and so trouble's always gonna find you.
And then I'm start scrolling because everybody know I ain't the biggest DaBaby fan anyway, but I don't have an issue with him.
I like DaBaby.
Yeah,
that Baby Snoop song is actually hot.
That's because he reminds y'all like he from South Carolina. He might have some South Carolina ties. He got real South Carolina energy.
I don't know, because like we would have known as a South Carolina boy, we would have known like don't fight on the actual alley. Move the fight a little bit higher because you got to have grip. Look, you're a fight a South Carolina dude. I'm gonna tell you, don't let him get grip or leverage. You about to get your ass whooped.
Look, and then I thought about it. I said, this boy, Danile's brother, was online talking spicy, was like, yo, you disrespected my sister. When I see you, it's on. We fighting. And then I think about it. You show up at Summer Walker's baby. My fault, London. London is your name.
Yeah.
Thank you. You at London's birthday party. DaBaby's there with his security guard. Security knows, hey, yo, that person has already threatened my client.
Yeah,
we're not letting you get close. You show up by yourself.
Yeah, you show up. Look,
that means you got a gun on you. And if somebody say, yo, when I see you, it's on site, and they just walk up to you calm with nobody
by
else,
themselves, like, you got to take that serious. So I mean,
and I thought about it, I'm like, oh, you deserve the ass whooping you got.
Yeah, I mean, you walked into it.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, you walked into it. I mean, I gave y'all the story about the ass whooping I almost took. And I ain't walk into it. But 5 dudes, like, bro, you got to bounce. Like, that ain't smart at all. Yeah. That ain't smart at all, man. Like,
look, it happens. Yo, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. This is the Stir Fry Podcast. This is episode, I'm guessing 22. If I'm wrong, y'all
22 or 23.
Me.
Yeah.
We want to welcome y'all. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
TikTok is up.
Please,
Instagram
TikTok
is up. We're gonna get those things up, rolling and popping.
And shout out to everybody that's letting me know on TikTok, like, hey, Gavin, it's a slow burn. You just got to keep posting. People will come. Because I was on TikTok and I'm like, yo, where everybody at? Like, y'all say we can go viral here. I'm trying to go viral.
You got to go viral with something stupid, man.
And that's what they all
controversial.
Told me.
That's the thing.
And then Super Bowl came up. Speaking of, we better speak about Super Bowl anyway. Super Bowl come up and my brother-in-law is there. His girl is there. And they both young. They both first few years in their 20s. And so I was asking them about TikTok and they both was giving me tips. They was like, yo, you got to do something stupid. You got to be laughing or you got to know the hot ass song. And I was asking them about hot songs and they was naming out artists that even though I'm just 33, I was like, I don't know who the hell y'all talking about.
I don't know who any of these musicians be.
Look, how was your Super Bowl?
It was good, man.
You win money or lose money?
You know, I didn't bet, but I would have won money because I would have took the Bengals with the point. So I would have won. I didn't bet though.
Don't you love when that happened? Like, man, if I would have put the money down, I would have got something. But
yeah, I don't mind betting. It's just that, man, I got money tied up in too many places right now. I can't risk it.
Mike was the one who got me into FanDuel and DraftKings, and my wife hated it. Well, she was my girl at that time. We used to go out to dinner. I'm over here trying to fix lineups and shit.
Oh man, I love fucking fantasy sport. I love gambling in general, man. I mean, like, North Carolina allows us to bet legally on DraftKings and FanDuel, so people ain't got to use $5 in Bovada. Cause my account's on both. That's why I ain't bet. My account's on both of those is suspended right now. Cause I didn't use them in so long, so they deactivated. Oh, my shit. And they're afraid to like reopen accounts in illegal states now, because they all of them trying to get their gaming licenses, because betting is becoming legal in so many places in the United States.
We just need to move to Vegas,
man. We just need our state legislator to let people place bets. Like this is stupid.
I'm trying to get to Vegas, and Mike is like, no, we just can change the laws. One is easier than the other one.
I love Vegas though.
Me too. I'm going this year. I don't care. I'm trying to get Ez to go, but Ez got a wife.
Yeah, y'all both got wives, but we definitely gotta get to Vegas. We got to do it before football season though. The price is stupid.
Absolutely.
During the season.
Speaking of the Super Bowl, what was your take? Because I felt like the halftime show was right up your alley.
I love it. Everybody know I'm a Snoop fan. Like,
absolutely.
Like Snoop is probably my favorite rapper. Snoop and Jeezy are my favorite two rappers. Like it's not even close.
That is so funny. Snoop and Jeezy.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm saying it's right up your alley because you was old enough when Dre was Dre, Snoop was Snoop.
So when Doggy Style came out, like I'm old enough to remember how long we waited for the Chronic, right? Like motherfuckers waiting on the Chronic forever.
Really?
For it finally dropped.
That's funny.
Yeah, so it's like, I'm old enough to actually to remember that. Snoop came out, Doggy Style, probably my favorite, definitely with my top 5 discography of like, albums that, I listen to. And I stay up on the new stuff. Like these days, I pretty much only listen to Afro beats. Like,
okay.
That's pretty much it. And UKG out of London, which is like,
okay.
It's like underground EDM.
Okay.
Which would be house music.
Yeah.
Used to be house music. People don't even call it shit.
Nah, they don't.
So that's all I really listen to now. But if nostalgia hits, it like Snoop albums or the old Outkast or the Recession. I probably do listen to Recession like once a month.
Yeah. That's funny.
Super Bowl was nice though, man. Like to remind us, like, man, like how many of these beats Dre have actually produced. Like,
absolutely.
That was crazy to just remember. All those beats. And then, for them to play the West Coast anthem. Absolutely. And then just for us to know that Jay-Z wrote that song. Absolutely. And the ad-libs.
Absolutely.
That's ridiculous.
What was dope for me was, the dopest part of the whole Super Bowl halftime show was Snoop smoking weed before the show starts. They got him like ducked off, which is expected.
He's in California.
Absolutely. The second part was Snoop throwing up Crip signs during the halftime show, and he Crip walking. I thought that was the dopest shit. Just to realize, like, I'm not for those who Mike likes to remind everybody that I'm from the suburbs. So I say this term and nobody was gonna get it confused. I'm not a gangster in any type of way or form, right? Never been in a gang. But I imagine, these people who started these gangs to think about, for what they started them off for, to what they transitioned to, and to see like, yo, we started off, as a social club, so to speak. Now that we at the halftime show and our signs is getting thrown up, and you know what I'm saying? And just to know that Snoop is there, like that was so dope. It was so black. It was just so raw. And then you got Mary J. Blige singing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And not doing one of her hyper songs, but one of the songs, like my whole house, it was funny. We got to 20-year-olds on the couch. Yeah. Right? They singing Mary J. Blige because the young girl was like, yo, my mom played it. She 20.
Oh, yeah.
She like that. Then let me tell you what was funny. And I told Macho I was going to shout him out for this. He's like, yo, why is 50 Cent upside down?
Well, it was homage to the video.
He's 20, he never seen the video.
That makes sense. I actually gave 50 props for being able to do that. Like, bruh, ain't no fucking way.
Ain't no way. I was like,
I wouldn't even attempted it.
When he was upside down, I was like, why is he
y'all would have had to spin the camera on my ass.
Absolutely.
Like, ain't no way. Absolutely. So big ups for him being able to handle that. In his late 30s or early 40s.
Oh, he definitely his early 40s. 50 old as hell. I was like, yo, that was dope for me. Eminem, I don't know what you was kneeling for, but whatever, bro. That's here nor there. Like I understand why you kneeling, but whatever, bro.
I still don't know. I mean, it could be for pop or it could be for police brutality. I mean, either way, big ups to Eminem. Like I still don't know. So.
He said for pop or for police.
No, but it could be like I don't know. I don't know why he was kneeling. But I appreciate the jester because.
I don't know why it's fucking funny.
Because look how easy that has went over. Like even on the far right, but if that would have been like Dre or Snoop, man, it would be such a huge issue, man. And that's my constant complaint is how black men are treated in this country, and we sit around and pretend that like, oh no, black people aren't treated differently. I mean, hell, even with Sha'Carri right now, Sha'Carri and the young Russian skater. Sha'Carri smoked weed, which is not performance enhancing by any means.
No means.
The young Russian skater was taking a heart medicine, which actually I think it says it lets the capillaries get larger, so you can pump more blood, which increases your endurance. Actually, yes, performance enhancing.
Absolutely.
And you have people that are trying to defend it and say, well, it's because of age. Like, bruh, a failed drug test is a failed drug test.
Absolutely.
Right? If you're within the competing age, you're in the Olympics, and it's just like, man. It's rough being a black person on this planet right now. Like it's not the easiest thing in the world.
It's exhausting. It is lit.
But to your point, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
And to see the mental gymnastics that people will go through. Like Sha'Carri is an American citizen, right? This young lady, a little girl, is a Russian, right? Like that is an enemy of the United States. And to watch people who are not black go through the mental gymnastics to just excuse this behavior. For the only reason you're doing it is because you've codified the ideal of race, right?
Yeah.
And that's what you have in common. But then you say, well, I don't see race, so race don't matter. I don't understand why you guys always bring race up. But then you do the mental gymnastics for that, and it's exhausting, man.
I love that I don't see race.
Yeah, it's just it's exhausting. Which why we pivoted this season on the podcast, because it's like, man, as a black man, sometimes you got black women have your back, and then sometimes they don't.
Absolutely.
And then sometimes your own brothers are doing fuck shit, and then you're like, yo, like, okay, so y'all go come over here and do the right thing, right? And then they're like, well, no, this is the right thing now. So it's this became a podcast for like the brothers that they're honestly just trying to say, all right, I just want to be righteous. I just want to have a family. I want to be able to take care of my family. I want to be able to leave a legacy. This is what we pivoted the podcast to.
Absolutely. Speaking of pivoting, Russell Wilson and Ciara's out at the party, bruh. Drake is hosting a party. I don't know where in any world, I don't know any world where Drake has a party that is around a huge event.
Yeah.
Future is not going to be there.
You talking about the guy that he made an album with?
The guy who Drake really wants to be. I've been saying that for like 2 years now, and I think people are starting to catch on. Drake wants to be Future.
They make one album. I mean, they make one hit song a year together.
Yeah,
right. They're boys, right? Like
there's not going to be a time whenever Future does a verses, either the first 10 or the last 10 is going to be every song he has with Drake.
With Drake, yeah, all day. So
Drake rented out Dave and Buster's for Future to have a birthday party.
Yeah, I mean, they're boys.
They are best.
They are boys, man. So my homegirl actually sent that to me first, right? Because I think TMZ dropped it.
Yeah.
Or allegedly, I don't know. Like, don't sue me over dumb shit.
Yeah, please don't.
But she sent it to me, and she was just like, "Yeah, that's right." And then this is what I hit her with. I was like, there's not a man that in your phone that if they was there with their woman and her ex shows up, that he'd run out of there.
Yeah,
there's not a man. And I get it. Women want to big up it. Women want to big up Russ. I'm gonna be honest. This was the first time where I was like, I don't know if they're gonna make it. I've been
okay.
I've been Team Russ and Team Ciara. I have. I love Black Love, but somebody had to make the decision to not go to that party.
Well, Russ does.
I'm gonna say someone, right? Because we talked about 50-50.
Russ, man, the fuck up.
Someone has to make that decision. Someone has to look at, and I didn't even think about this. Like me and one of my homegirls was talking. I need to start coming up with some names for them because y'all probably think that I don't be talking to anybody. I just be making this shit up. So let's just call her Z, right?
Okay, shout out to you, Z.
So I'm talking to Z, and I was like, they probably, like, there's a good chance, like, as a father that's actually co-parenting, sometimes, the conversation between you and your kid's mom get lit.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Sometimes it's not even intentional.
Okay.
It just, life happens.
Yeah.
Y'all disagree about something, and all that old shit comes back, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm looking at this, and I was like, look, they're, the Wilsons are in L.A., Future is in LA. Okay. And there's a good chance that when he saw his son was in town, that he might have reached out and been like, yo, shoot little man over here for a few. I'm wherever. Okay. And I was like, yo, that's not unfair. That is not unfair. True. Like if I was in New York City and then my son FaceTime me and he's in New York City, it would not be unfair for me to be like, yo, where y'all at? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see my kid. Right? Like, that's not unfair. But I was like, so maybe there is a chance that some words was exchanged because maybe he didn't get to see his son, which would be fucked up. It would be fucked up if everybody's in LA and one of the parents wanted to see the kid, or let's say maybe Ciara wanted him to see his kid, and he was like, "Nah, I'm too busy," and the conversation was lit. Okay. But for whatever reason, when they get to Drake's party, the only place that Future is more likely to be at than a Drake party is a Welcome to Atlanta party. Okay. He's still going to Drake first. And a free bands party. And then Drake will be there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no place. Like, a Drake party is like the only place that's next up. Absolutely. For Future to be there. So if they did not want to see Future, or if they cannot be in the same room, someone has to make the decision to not go to that party. Russ. And here's the thing. Russ. There's 1,000 parties going on Super Bowl week. Absolutely. You think Kendrick Lamar didn't have a party going? Absolutely. Dr. Dre didn't have a party going? He definitely had one. Diddy didn't have a party going? When do he not go? Why did y'all go to the Drake party? Because she wanted to see Future. That is I ain't say it. Gavin said it. Do not be in my fucking comments for that shit. Look, this is when, so we put this in our group chat. So just to let y'all know, I know a lot of y'all think me and Mike be agreeing on shit. We be arguing in our group chats all the fucking time. So Mike sending shit, and I have to be the young voice of reason in our group chat. And so I'm looking at it, and I'm like, yo, like, I'm not shocked. And I was like, yo, all of us would have left. Because that was our original discussion. I think all of us would have left, not because we wanted to, but because nothing's worse than when you out with your girl, and then she's just like, fuck this, I'm over it. I wouldn't have left. I would, and matter of fact, not only would I not left, I would have mouthed every fucking word from that song about I want my bitch back, right? I would have mouthed every fucking word, and when that part would have came on, I would have held her ring finger up and been like, nah, bruh, that ain't she Russ. Gone. Look, she gone. Man, I told Mike, I said, none of us. It's my woman now. None of us would have actually been there. No, we wouldn't have been there. Because here's the thing. In the first place. Because if you got to avoid conflict, got to avoid fucking conflict. Absolutely. We are not in those circles. We understand that if Drake is having a party, Future is going to be there 99% of the time. Ciara and Russ know that. I don't know who decision it was, but like I said, man, for the first time, I was like, yo, I don't know if they're going to make it, because if somebody's making decisions like that, yeah, that shit creeps into every part of your life, man. Absolutely. It creeps into every part. Like that wasn't a solid decision. That decision, if we put a grading scale on it, that decision was a D- decision. Oh yeah, it's like you don't go to the Drake party if you beefing with your baby daddy or you don't want to see your baby daddy. Yeah, and then if your baby daddy's Future, absolutely. Well, it's like your baby daddy's Jesse Williams, and you go to a Grey's Anatomy party. You're like, oh, shit, I hope I don't see Jesse Williams. Like you probably gonna see fucking Jesse Williams. Absolutely. Like, it was a terrible decision. Speaking of baby daddies, Van Jones, what's up with your boy? Who? Van Jones. Yo, this conscious parenting thing, man. I disagree with it. So y'all know this whole podcast is about families and nuclear families and fathers being at home with kids. What and not having babies out of wedlock. Yes. Right? Yes, that got me kicked out of a group chat. Go ahead. Yeah. So why is this man deciding to have a baby? And here's the thing. So I read an article on, I think it was on the Daily. Okay. And then the Daily had like a link to where it's like that's becoming a thing. Like people are starting to have babies with their friends. So I'm thinking that, like you have a baby with your friend and you still hit.
Yeah.
No, that ain't happening. They doing like IVF. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. All right. For one, it's probably more class because IVF is expensive as fuck. So
absolutely.
If you can afford IVF, you probably can afford to co-parent. You probably can. I'm gonna assume both of y'all making 100 plus.
Absolutely.
Right. So you could probably afford to co-parent.
Okay.
Right? I still disagree with it, but you could probably afford it. But how soon before we see this conscious parenting or just having kids with their best friend, how soon before we see this turn into a mainstream thing? And wealth is built in families. Not saying you can't do it by yourself, but more than likely, if you're gonna create wealth or receive wealth, you do it in the family. It's the reason why I think the statistic is 83% of millionaires are married and 91% of billionaires are married.
Okay.
All right. It is a wealth creation tool. And when I see guys and they're saying shit like, there's no reason to get married. Well, no, there's no reason to get married to, a woman that you can't cooperate with, or a woman that's not considerate.
Okay.
Or a woman that's not gentle or kind. Like, no, like you shouldn't be married to that woman. But if you find a woman that is one of the 3 C's, man, like, no, there's a benefit there because your bills are going to go down.
Absolutely.
You're able to save more money.
Absolutely.
You're able to focus more on work. Like when I was going through my divorce, I was the top sales guy at the company I was with.
Okay.
The top. Like I was like number 2.
Okay.
Right. Only one position higher. I went through my divorce, man, and I actually had to change careers because I wasn't focused anymore.
Yeah.
Right. Like I make half the money that I made then. I had a business prior to actually getting married. Right. I don't even want to tell you how much less money I'm making in that shit. Right. But so here's the thing, man.
It's like tax time.
Yeah. You can't. This can't become mainstream, and I don't like this with Van Jones because at the end of the day, while Van Jones was a reporter, he ain't self-made. Jeff Bezos gave him $100 million.
Yeah,
now,
absolutely.
I don't know what he had to do for that $100 million, and I'll say allegedly to whatever that happened. But Jeff Bezos gave a chef and Van Jones $100 million, said they could do what they want to do. All right, I think it's pretty lame to conscious parent when you could get remarried, if that's what you want. And if it's like, yo, I don't want to get remarried because I want to play the field because I got $100 million now, bro, just get in an open relationship.
Absolutely.
Like, do y'all boys not control anything that y'all involved with? Like, are you that used to being told what to do?
Yeah, well, most of them are.
Yeah, like, bro, like you don't have to.
They're going 50-50, man. You definitely know they're getting told.
Man, look. Even if you go 50-50, there's conversation to be had. Like, don't sign up to be miserable. I don't like that shit though. I don't like what Van Jones is doing. I don't like this conscious parenting. I'm a whole steady to have babies in marriage. Do not have babies out of wedlock. Van Jones got $100 million. Don't do what Van Jones do. Please and when he gets hit over the head in the next 2 to 3 years, when she hit him for child support or whatever the fuck's going to happen, or he can't see his kid, remember this podcast. Go back, pull this up, clip it, and repost the shit on your story.
Please. Speaking of another great parent, Kanye and Kim Kardashian, they are the streets is on fire. Now, to be fair, I'm gonna give a little backstory. As we all know, they was getting a divorce. But it was kind of unsure about like what was going on. Right?
Are they still in the divorce?
Apparently, according to her, he won't sign the papers to start the divorce process.
I could definitely see that. I can see Kanye. I can see Kanye not doing that.
I can see that absolutely. Especially, you know what? When parents split, when people have a kid and they're not married, let's say, and they start going through the drama of child support and things like that, and in divorces, you start seeing people get petty.
And this is all divorces get petty.
Yeah, and then when people go for child support, it gets petty again, right? So I can definitely see Kanye saying, "No, I'm not signing shit."
Yeah,
because I got to be petty. So anyway, at first it was kind of unclear, right? Because like she was going to his concert, she was showing up places with him, so it's kind of like, are y'all getting divorced or y'all splitting, whatever. Then it turns into Kanye goes on He started doing interviews. He sat down with Nori and was like, yo, I'm still married. That's my wife. I want my family back together. And then all hell broke loose. Kim started popping out with Pete Davidson. The next thing you know, Kanye, he's dedicated his whole his whole Instagram to Pete Davidson. And now Kim wrote a spicy statement, man, about how one line in her whole statement was, me, I'm the provider and protector of my kids. And that threw me off so bad because I was like, your man can't be running around saying, yo, I'm worth 10 billion and you're almost worth $1 billion. And you can't be going around saying I'm the sole provider because something ain't shaking up right. Yeah. Now, mind you, I am standing firm on this. So when it happens, I want y'all to know I said it first. I don't believe Kanye is worth 10 billion. I'm sorry.
No. I mean, he's rich though.
Yeah, he's definitely
like he done took everything down off of Instagram again.
Yeah, because he going through it. I mean,
he's definitely going through it. Let me tell you, man. As someone that went through divorce is messy.
Absolutely. But he can't be online talking about something. Hey, y'all, this is my first divorce. I need help. I don't want my kid on TikTok.
I mean, but again, isn't Kanye bipolar?
According to Kim and them.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's bipolar. And it's funny. We talk about this. I was reading about Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown was actually diagnosed bipolar. So, everybody was arguing me and talking about he's not mental. He's just an asshole. I don't know how I missed this shit. Because normally me being right is normally followed up by facts. And I don't even know how I missed it. But he's actually also diagnosed bipolar.
He definitely got CTE.
Yeah, and definitely has CTE, So that's from my homeboys that was just like, no, he just asshole because black men do not believe that other black men can actually be mental or have mental
or two things can be true.
Or both things can be true. He's definitely an asshole. But that asshole is definitely ratcheted up the boy is worth like what, 60 million, 70 million? Like, he signed a healthy contract. He had huge endorsements. Yeah. Like he has he's been at every huge event since he walked off the field. He Absolutely. Ain't broke.
But he won't get surgery. That's the other thing.
I mean, hey man, some of us afraid of needles and knives. But back to Ye. Divorce is messy.
Absolutely.
But okay, so on one hand, as a black man, I empathize with Ye. As a black father, not even so much as a black man.
Yeah.
As a black father, I do empathize because I believe that he do love his kids.
Absolutely.
I believe his kids, enjoy being around. I know everybody tried to pick up everything about, the kids at the Super Bowl and they didn't want to be there. Like, for one, kids don't give a fuck about sporting events in general.
They don't.
But I'm gonna tell you, as someone that could definitely remember, anytime I went anywhere with my parents when I was young, this is something that the kids remember forever. They definitely did not appreciate being at the Super Bowl, right? Yeah. But they didn't appreciate it because they were 9. It wasn't like they didn't appreciate it because,
yo, it's loud in here.
It's loud in here.
That's it.
So, for him to spend time, with his children, big ups to Kim for, allowing that, being, decent enough to allow that to happen. So as a black father, it's like, yo, I get it. When you're going through a divorce, you really don't get to see your kids until you get to custody court. Whatever parent has the kids when you decide to split, whether it's the man or the woman, that's the custodial parent until you get to court. Yeah. Like it doesn't change, right? Until you get to court, that's the custodial parent. So Ye is against, he's bent over the barrel right now, and until he gets through court, that's the only place he's going to be. Now, for anybody who think he has mental issues, that doesn't stop you from being a parent. As long as you're getting help. I have a friend, has mental issues, was committed, and she has full custody of the kids because she's a better parent than the father, right? So it's like, don't think, I hate when I read bullshit for people that don't know. Yeah, because most men don't go to court for their kids. Yeah, and fellas, let me say this shit to you again. Do not fucking settle. If you want to see your kids, look. It's two things. You're either gonna have a lack of time or a lack of money. So if you're not a custodial parent, you're probably gonna have to pay child support. Get over paying fucking child support because kids are expensive, right? That 2-bedroom that she has to be a 3-bedroom now. That 1-bedroom has to be a 2-bedroom. That car has to be maintained right now. She only has 1 car. Pay child support. All right, fellas, get over this idea that, I don't know where the money's going. Who gives a fuck?
Who gives a fuck?
If you're not going to be a custodial parent, if you're not going to go full custody or joint custody, go ahead and let her take care of the kids and cut the fucking check. Now, for men that actually want to get joint custody because you actually want to be a force in your kid's life and you actually want to be an influence in your kid's life, go to court.
Absolutely.
Period. Point blank. Because you're going to need that court order. You're going to need that document. And when you go to court, if you are a decent man, like, don't let them threaten you with your past. I don't care. Look, I don't care if you was a D-boy. I don't care if you was a hustler. I don't care if you was a pimp. If all that shit is in the past, bro, go to court.
Yeah.
All right? Because the judge ain't going to care. She done heard all this shit before. She's heard all of it before. All she going to want to know is, can you take care of the kids? What the place look like? Go to court. Only 4% of men show up in court. 4%. Everybody else settle, and then you complain about the fucking shitty deal you got because her attorney wrote the shit up. So stop complaining. Go all the way to court. Get in front of a judge. Get your joint custody. Now, once you get your joint custody and your court order, it don't matter.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, to be fair, these niggas don't want to be dads. Sorry.
Well, true. Most of the dudes that's having multiple baby mamas don't want to be dads.
They don't, and I feel bad because, man, like, I've been in there. Well, I hope he ain't gonna listen. I had a cousin.
I'm about to say, just don't say his name.
Yeah, I had a cousin. We went to court with him, and I remember his lawyer came to our family and was like, "Look, y'all got a big ass family. Everybody need to show up. Like, everybody needs because he had a daughter, and his baby mom." I remember us going to court, man, and his baby mom showed up with her mom, and she busted out crying because we filled up the whole other side, right? And the judge was like, "Yo, who are these other people here?" And he was like, "This is my family." And she was like, "Well, who are all these people?" He's like, "No, this is my family. You come to any family event, all of us gonna be there." And I just remember sitting there, and I remember like how important it was for that. I remember his lawyer was like, "No, these are the terms we want."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it was real. And then, speed up a few years later, it took less than a year. He got his daughter. He got his daughter he got full custody of his daughter right now because the mom wasn't shit. And like,
show up to court, man. I'm telling you.
And like, really, like, it is funny. I know you said this already, but it is funny and interesting and actually saddening. So it's not even that funny when you do see men get online and be like, "Yo, she want child support." Like, yo, where in what world do you get to have a kid and the only thing you get to do is put your kid on Facebook? Because a lot of people want to be social media dads. Let's keep it a buck.
Yeah. Hey, not a lot, because most dads are too busy to post. Like, so good example,
fair.
right?
That's fair.
On Facebook, my son's birthday was 2 weeks ago. We had his birthday party on Sunday. I haven't posted pics for either of those, and I've been available for all of them. Like, I've been at all of them. Like, no one has time, man. Like, when you are actively parenting, it's like it ain't the flex.
Yeah.
Like, you tired, man. Look, man, I dropped my son off last Friday. Y'all, I went to bed. I woke up Saturday morning. A lot of y'all not 10:30. I went to bed at like 7:30 the night before. Man, look, kids are a lot of work,
bro.
I dropped them off. Like, here's the thing. I dropped them off at school. I finished working for the day. Man, about 7:30, I was like, "Yo, I'm just gonna lay down." I woke up like 10:30, 11 the next day.
It's funny.
It's a lot of work.
Karina hit me up and goes, "Yo, we at the 5-month mark. Are you gonna post a picture?" I said, "Yeah, next month. I'll post a 5-month one next month. I ain't got time." And it was funny last night, me and her sitting around at the table, and she goes, "This shit is exhausting."
It is. It is a lot of work, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I'm anti this goddamn Van Jones bullshit. This conscious parenting, like, this cannot become in vogue. Like, no, this is a terrible idea.
It's definitely a terrible idea.
You need two parents in the house, man.
I'm ready to walk this back only halfway. This is only for Mike, so y'all don't judge me. Is Pete Davidson smashing Kim? I am here to say Kanye has walked Pete into some ass. All right,
man, he been smashing from the beginning, bro. All right, let's be clear. Let's be clear what a ladies' man is, right?
Pete ain't that.
No, Pete is definitely a ladies' man. Because here's the thing: the women that we know that he smashed, those are just celebrities, right? Like, that ain't even count all the women that he just get in general, just regular trim.
Okay,
he's a ladies' man, and let me tell you something: if you are a ladies' man, it's for like one of a few reasons, right?
Okay.
You're either amazing in bed.
Okay.
Right? Which means you come with references. I mean, the other women have said, absolutely, "Yo, he's solid in bed." You have primo dick size of length.
Okay.
Primo, right? Like, not too big, not too short. Like, it's just primo. Right?
Go ahead.
Or you're like a savant in your field, right? And it makes women like to sleep with dudes who are just at the top of their field.
Absolutely.
Right?
And it's another one. I'm gonna see if you're gonna hit it.
Shit, that's all I got. What you got?
Oh, I was gonna say, or you just funny.
Oh, you funny? Oh yeah. Are you
some dudes can laugh the draws off.
Yeah. Are you super fucking funny? Yeah. I almost left that out.
Yeah.
That's like my go-to.
Yeah.
That is like my go-to. Like I'm gonna have you cracking.
I know a homeboy. He always get laid because he is funny as hell.
Yo, I'm telling you, man. It's like it's like self-deprecating humor. Like if you don't have that shit, yo, go get that shit, man. Like man, a woman love a man that can laugh at himself, man. I'm telling you, bro. Like that shit, classic. But yeah, like I've been thought he was hidden, man. Pete Davidson has that reputation as a ladies' man, so I don't know what qualities that the women are looking for, but yo, like he got a solid list.
Man, he looked like he's strung out.
Dude, women don't care about that. Women do
Clearly
not
they
care.
don't.
Women do not care about looks. All right, let me change it. Women don't care about looks if you have something else besides your looks.
One of the other three.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like you could be like an average looking dude. Like you could be a 5 in the face. But like if you come with references,
yep.
You know, they're like, yo, like, nah, this dude, like he's nasty in bed.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you're going to get picked up by baddies all the time.
They gonna know you.
Like, yeah, they gonna know you. They're gonna know who you are, man. So it's like, no, you don't have to be attractive as a man. And like Pete, I think, now it's fucked up that Pete been sitting at the table with Ye and now smashing his wife.
Absolutely.
That is fucked up. And I'm with Ye on that. It should be on site.
Yeah.
It should be. And I do not condone violence at all.
I do.
But like, man, like, dude, you like this is still my wife. I ain't even saying she can't hit, right? Like I don't own my wife.
Absolutely.
But I do expect a man that sat at my table and broke bread with me and had a drink with me to be respectful.
Multiple times.
And what I mean by being respectful is like, yo, like you could rein her in and just be like, look, I'm gonna come through, but like, damn, we ain't gotta post this shit.
Yeah, look, and that was my joke when I was seeing everything. I'm like, yo, he knows he's being used as a pawn, and sometimes when it's just like premium box, maybe you like, all right, I'm cool with it. But I was like, yo, to me that wasn't manly.
Yeah.
It was
that wasn't manly at all.
Because it's like, look, it's the reason why Derek Fisher got his ass whooped.
Yeah, and we all, and like none of us are sitting here and being like Matt Barnes was wrong. Like no everybody like no, Derek Fisher wrong. Yeah. Like everybody, like even the simps shut up on that one.
Yeah,
because the simps probably wanted to defend Derek Fisher.
They wanted to, and even now Matt Barnes was like, yo, if he would have called me, he said everything would have went different. He was like, yo, look, they're happy now. My kids love him. I'm happy for them. I support them. He's like, but he had to catch that ass whooping because he was like, bruh, we used to hoop together.
Yeah, cool. Bro. Like this is my girl, bro. Like, this was my girl. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Like, be mindful, be respectful when it's your girl, especially when it's one of your homeboys. Look, I know y'all boys ain't got no morals, and I'm not a moralist. So like let's get it straight. Like, I don't really have any either, because morals change over time. Like at one point in time, we thought it was cool to be smashing enslaved people, right?
Absolutely.
Of either sex. Yeah. And those people was going into church the next day. So I'm not a moralist at all.
Absolutely.
But like, bro, like, yo, like for real, like don't
some respect.
Don't smash the woman that I actually liked at one point in time publicly. I ain't even telling you not to try, but I am telling you, like, yo, dude, like, don't be posting to Instagram. It is gonna be on site.
Before we go to the next thing, I do want to commend Hove. I know it has to be stated. I watched this past weekend his parenting skills versus Ye, and it was mind blowing. You know what I'm saying? Most people don't even know Beyonce was at the game. I mean, I think it's expected, but you didn't see her. But to see Hove on the football field, on the ground, taking pictures of Blue Ivy on the field, it was dope to me. He took a picture and she said something to him, and he crouched all the way down. You talking about a man who works for the NFL, who's worth an extreme amount of money, was like, no, I'm still a dad.
I'm still a dad.
And yeah, so if my girl wants me, and look, Blue Ivy got him taking multiple pictures. She jumping up and he got to capture her in the air. You can easily ask your assistant, yo, get this. Yeah. But he's like, no, I'm here. I want
to be in that moment. But we've already said, Hov being used as the whipping boy for the NFL right now to distract from their racist ass owners.
Absolutely.
Allegedly. But We've always said that Hov had that business mindset.
Absolutely.
And part of having that mindset of accelerating your life and accelerating is that understanding of humility and restraint. Like those are two attributes that we need more of in men, right? When me and your other dudes like went back and forth about the masculinity thing, and they were saying that it's toxic masculinity, and I was saying like, no, it's a lack of masculinity. When you bring in humility and restraint, you understand that like, no, we need men to have more of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So him being out there with his daughter, like that's humility.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? That's restraint of not saying to my assistant, yo, go out there and take those pictures, right?
Yeah.
While I sit here and drink, more Douce.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's humility. And that's what it takes to go to the next level.
Yeah. And it was super dope. I don't know. I just saw that and I'm like laughing at bruh getting on the ground to get a picture of his daughter jumping up. Yeah. And I'm like, that's so dope.
Yeah,
and then,
definitely.
And then it's weird, man, because selfishly, I wish there was still a world that exists where him and Ye can be like right there together. It would have been dope to see them two there.
Well, I mean, Ye got to grow up.
He does, and we've been saying that for like a decade now.
I love the old Kanye, right?
Yeah.
And as a black dad, I root for the new Ye. I root for the man that that wants his family together. But Ye chose a siren.
Absolutely.
Obviously, she was a siren.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Ye chose that, so Ye has to live with that. We have to make him accountable for his own actions.
Yeah.
But Ye has to mature into what, Sean Carter became, which is something that a lot of people around, Sean Carter couldn't do.
Absolutely.
If we being honest, a lot of people around him couldn't do that. That man got married. He became a family man. He took ownership. I don't think when Jay-Z, got caught for allegedly, being unfaithful or the reason behind Lemonade, if that ever happened at all, it might have just been a big marketing ploy. I don't know.
It was great if it was.
But, I believe that he's the type of man that take ownership of it. Just be like, this was on me, right? And then when he wrote the 444, that's what it sounded like.
Yeah.
That type of humility, right? Like that saying, it doesn't, what I did had nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
Right? I did it.
Yeah.
I gotta own this. That type of leadership is what men should aspire to be, which is why I could be annoyed at Jay-Z the capitalist, in the NFL being used and not having an NFL team yet. I could be annoyed at that, but still respect him as a man, and a father and a husband, and say like, but that's still the goal.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Fuck the business. That's still the goal.
Absolutely. We got an interesting thing. We gotta go through these 3 C's, man. I know we touched on it earlier.
All right, so what we'll talk about is like, what are some red flags when we're dating, right?
Okay,
that was gonna be the show topic.
So all right, let's do it like this.
Yeah.
So people listen to the pod. And so
allegedly,
I got some young boys who I just talked to, and they always asking questions. And shout out to my boy Jamar. He already know. I never supposed to shout you out, but I shout you out all the time. Because we
got to get Jamar on the podcast.
Yeah, because one day Jamar gonna be like, "Yo, bro, what the fuck?" And so
I hope his girl doesn't listen to the podcast.
Me too. But in part of that, and then when I be talking, and when I talk to my brother-in-law and his homeboys and his girl, they all young, so I be laughing. So one day I get a text one day, and it goes, "Yo, what's some red flags when you dating somebody?" And I was like, "I got mines. They all stupid."
Oh, man.
And I was like, you know what? I'm going to bring it to somebody that's way more mature. So we're introducing a new segment that's going to happen from time to time. It is called the Young Boy Question of the Week for Pastor Mike. So the question this week is, what are some red flags when you're in a relationship?
All right. So we talked about the 3 C's.
Absolutely.
I'm going to give you 2 today. All right.
Okay.
The 3 C's, man. Is she cooperative? Is she compassionate? Is she considerate? A woman has to be those 3 things. All right.
Okay.
Do not mention submission. Y'all guys, just cut shit out. I'm not telling you not to look for submissive women. I'm telling you to stop asking the fucking question. Cause all it does is trigger women, and now you just fucked up your whole conversation. You can still get what you want. I always tell my friends this all the time. I was like, do you want to get back or do you want to win? I always ask those 2 things, because if you want to get back, then let's just get back. But you got to understand you might not win.
Okay.
You might not win. So if you want to win, right? If you want to say, all right, what's the red flag? All right, is she considerate? And what I mean by considerate is if you tell, she's like, yo, can you come by? And you can't even mention what you got to do. You just go by. You drop everything you got to do and you go by. Now you spoiled her, right?
Okay.
That's terrible, but you spoiled her. Now comes a time where you really can't come by, right? And it's really important. Like, I can't come by because it's my mom's birthday. I can't come by because I got to work overtime.
Yeah.
Like, whatever it is, I can't come by. And she catches the attitude.
Yeah.
All right? That woman is not considerate.
Run.
That is a red flag. That is a red fucking flag. That is not a white flag. That is not a blue flag. That's not a green flag.
She's upset.
That is a red flag. That's the first thing. If a woman is not considerate, and here's the thing, most really attractive women have never had to be considerate. They never had to be.
They're gonna light your ass up in the comments.
Yeah, so it's like, and they can because they know it's true.
Definitely posting that.
So here's the thing. If she's not considerate, red flag. Now, I'm not telling you to drop on the first go round, but you should have a limit in your mind of how many times you're going to take this.
Okay.
Before you realize that it's never going to change. Because I do believe that you should allow people the opportunity to change.
Okay.
Most people aren't going to change though, but some people will. So, and maybe you get lucky. Is she compassionate? All right. Compassion is different from empathy, right? Like if I'm having a bad day and and my woman sees I'm having a bad day, and she internally feels like, damn, my man had a bad day. That's empathy. And that's not bad, right? You'd rather that than a fucking psychopath that doesn't feel anything, right? But here's the thing. But compassion is, I'm having a bad day. She notices and she feels it, and then she says, well, I'm going to go make his favorite cocktail. Okay. Right? Okay. So while you sit down and decompressing on the porch or the couch, she walks over there and she hands you your favorite cocktail, right? And she don't
Smearing off ice.
Yeah, she don't sit with you. She hands it to you, right? Because she sees that you need your space, right?
Women love sitting with you when you just need some space.
Yeah, and men need space sometimes, right? But that's compassion. Okay. Right? Now, if a woman doesn't have compassion, that should be a red flag. It should be, and I get it. Sometimes you really want that woman, right? And as a man, we've already been taught to box up our feelings anyway, right?
Absolutely.
So like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? She ain't compassionate. But if you're talking about settling down, a woman needs to be compassionate. And the last thing is cooperative. Y'all boys got to stop asking women to be submissive. Cut that shit out because it's rehearsed and it's so rehearsed that women have great rebuttals to the shit now.
Oh, absolutely.
like women can respond to that submissive shit now, and you be like, damn, I didn't expect such a well thought out answer. That is not well thought out. It's rehearsed.
Yeah,
same way you asking for submission is rehearsed.
Look, I know a homegirl straight up. Excuse me, I know a young lady straight up. She was like, yo, it's gonna be hard for me to submit to a man. And I was like, for real? She was like, I've been taking care of myself since I was in middle school. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And she makes...
Where was her daddy at?
Not there.
See, that's fucked up.
And it's no fault of hers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no doubt.
And the crazy part was, damn, I gotta go change that. Good thing we got this one. Yeah. So the funny part is like, looking at her, she makes great money. You know what I'm saying? And she's married. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, yo, that doesn't mean I'm not going to cooperate. That don't mean that I'm going to do whatever it takes to help him grow, to be a great man. And she is that person. But I remember having a conversation with her. She was like, yo, you're going to ask me to submit when I'm out earning you. I'm outperforming. I'm doing everything you need me to do.
But that's why we hit them early with the, hey, man, you need to look for the 3 C's. Like, stop asking for submission. Like, all right, fella, what I just gave you guys today was a Jedi mind trick. Okay. All right. If you do this shit right here, you can still get what you want, and you don't have to ask a woman for submission. Stop asking women for submission. Make sure they hit the 3 C's, bro. Okay. That is.
Are
they compassionate? Are they considerate?
And do they cooperate?
Let
me tell y'all something.
Hit them with the 3 C's, bro. Stop asking them to submit. That shit ain't doing it but triggering women.
Absolutely. And for the young boys, I know this is for Pastor Mike, but I'm gonna still answer it. Yo, if she over 27 and she got a roommate, bro, run. If she a bottle girl, run.
Men gonna ignore the roommate thing. And I wouldn't be too hard on shit. Man, rent's through the roof right now.
Absolutely.
The bottle girl thing.
Bro, all right. So let me.
She a bottle girl, yeah. Don't.
My thing is
don't do the bottle girl thing.
If you talking to a young lady, she's over.
Boy, you gonna get ripped for that one.
Absolutely, and that's fine. I ain't in no more group chats. Here's my thing. if she's over 27, let's say, and I don't know anybody asking, I just pulled 27 out my ass right now.
Oh,
right?
shit.
So if she over a certain age, and then you looking at her, first of all, if you had a roommate, she would be looking at you sideways. That's my thing right there.
This is true to an extent. I mean, it depends. Like if you're in Columbia, South Carolina,
and probably, you got a roommate, we judging you.
Yeah, but
sorry.
Yeah, but I mean, shit. The way Charlotte's getting right now. But if you're in New York, L.A., D.C.,
Atlanta, we ain't talking about them cities. Yeah. We talking about.
But in general, yeah.
Because some of y'all, a lot of these chicks, it's hard to like really be talking to a woman, and then she's like, yo, you know, she's used to running the heat all damn day because her and 2 other chicks is splitting the heat. Then she doesn't understand when she gets to your house and they be like, no, I just keeping it at 73 all day and the shit runs all day. And then you got a $300 light bill and you don't know why. Shorty been there. And then, you know, look, tell her ass, yo, grow the fuck up. And you know what be pissing me off? I be noticing a lot of these chicks, I'm an alpha woman, and a lot of y'all just adults. If we just keeping it real. Y'all ain't really alpha women. Y'all, and this ain't.
You know, we'll do that on the next red flag.
Absolutely. But look, so yeah, bottle girl run. She got roommates run. What else?
I ain't gonna be that hard on the roommate, man. I'll let Gavin have that. Bottle girl thing though, like y'all boys gotta stop dating bottle girls. If you're not 300 plus, stop dating bottle girls, bro.
Yeah, because they're gonna burn you.
She's buying bottles for like all the athletes in your town, and it's like, yo, if you're not 300 plus, you can't really compete with that. Like Chanel bags that went up from like $2,800 to like $7,000.
Yeah.
Like, bro, like you can't afford that. So stop dealing with them.
And sometimes men don't understand the type of chicks that they're attracting.
Or the type of women that they're attracted to.
Yeah, because a lot of y'all be going, you know, a lot of these girls, first of all, a lot of these women don't know how much some of the shit they
don't know how much the shit costs at all, right? Because they have subsidized lifestyle. Bro, there's a school teacher on like that's a Facebook friend with me. She is at the hottest restaurant in the city every weekend, bro. She is a school teacher. She complains about living in poverty, but somehow she is at the top restaurants every week, and it's because her lifestyle is being subsidized. Yeah. So for her to meet a man that makes $70,000
roommates,
yeah, like so she meets a man that makes $80,000 a year. That's actually a middle class man, right? That's a man that she should settle down with. That man cannot afford her. He can't.
Nah,
he can't have her at all. He can't have her at $150, $200 a place every weekend,
bruh. It's
so when she meets him and he can't provide that lifestyle, guess what she's gonna say? I don't want him.
Some other things, I'm gonna keep it real short with y'all. If you go on her Instagram bio and she got her Bible verse first, red flag. She got her OnlyFans, but she ain't nude on there, red flags. She said, I like to think.
She got her OnlyFans in general might be a red flag.
Absolutely.
But she definitely should not be fully clothed on OnlyFans.
Yeah, it's pointless, right? And like a lot of y'all tried to get off the, I do my cooking and my fitness shit on OnlyFans. I'm not even nude on there. Red flag, bro. Keep it moving, bro. I mean, you should really, I would trust her more if she said, yeah, I'm busting it wide on OnlyFans.
And I'm not offended about the OnlyFans thing.
We never come on. What we say about sex
work is real work.
Even though OnlyFans is cheap sex work and the sex workers is mad at y'all, but that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, they are.
The chicks who say, I think like a dude, run the fuck away from her.
Yeah, but make her a homegirl because she gonna introduce you to a lot of interesting women.
She work at a call center. Run. No trust no chick that work at a call center, bro. I'm sorry, bro. I'm keeping it real. And never mind, I can't say that one. And then any chick that says I act older than my age, she is highly immature.
Yeah, I would disagree.
You can run any game on her.
I would disagree there. But back to the stuff that Gavin just want to piss y'all off.
Absolutely. But I made a list.
Yeah. Hey, bring up celibacy too early. That's a red flag.
Oh my God.
Yeah, relationships are about intimacy. And if you've met a woman and you have not mentioned sex, all right, fellas, y'all got to stop mentioning sex super fucking early. But if a woman brings up celibacy and you haven't even mentioned sex, now if you mention sex and she bring up celibacy, now that's on you. But if she brings up celibacy, that's a red flag, right?
Yeah.
Because chances are you are not in this relationship to be celibate. Chances are you're in this relationship to be intimacy. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. Don't let anybody tell you that one, to be with somebody and have intimacy with them is wrong. If she brings that up early and you are not celibate, that is an opportunity to say, hey, that's cool, but I'm not celibate. So where do we go from here, right?
Absolutely.
And let her answer that. Let her answer. Because she might say, you know what? I still want to see you, but if you want to keep smashing, what's in your rotation, that's cool. now that's a winner. That's a winner. But if she says, like, nah, I want you to be celibate, and I don't want you to have anything. There's no place for that relationship to go. And it's not about sex, but it is about being honest. Absolutely. And let's make sure that we're always being honest and upfront in the things that we expect and the things that we want. And if we do those two things, then we can work on our humility and our expectation so we can become more fun humans. That's all I got.
Absolutely. Before we hop out of here, are you getting no Apple Watch band for Black History Month?
No, I'm starting to hate Black History Month. I'm not even gonna lie. Like the way that companies are pandering during Black History Month, and then you have Valentine's Day and President's Day. Can we just teach regular Black history? Can we stop teaching history as if Black people were slaves? We were not. Black people were doctors, lawyers, kingdom builders, royalty on the continent of Africa. There were kingdoms. There was kingdoms in Africa in the 1200s through the 1500s when there was the world plagues that was going on around the world. Mm-hmm. So can we talk about Africans as if they are from the continent of Africa? Because we don't know what tribes we're from or what kingdoms we're from. And can we stop talking about blacks as if we were slaves? We were not slaves. We were a people that was enslaved.
Absolutely.
We're not Slavonic.
Yep.
At all.
Before we hop up out of here, James Harden going to the Nets. I mean, he left the Nets. Ben Simmons is now on the Nets. James Harden's in Philly. We could talk about sports for a whole nother hour, but I kind of want to touch on, are we buying Ben Simmons' mental health thing? Especially that's been a topic. He did a press conference today, and I only watched probably a third of it. So
I missed it.
I'll send it to you, and maybe we'll talk about it next week. But it was interesting. It don't seem like nobody in the sports world really took his mental health reasoning serious.
Well, I mean, we talked about 20 minutes ago, right? Like I was sitting in one of my homeboys' garage. We was all like smoking cigars, and I brought up Antonio Brown, and he didn't want to give Antonio Brown any credit for being mentally ill, right? So we just discussed that like men don't do that for other men. Yeah. Despite the fact that we know that Antonio Brown probably has CTE, and I didn't even mention this because again I didn't realize it until I read more into it. Antonio Brown is actually diagnosed bipolar. Yeah. He actually has a mental illness, right? Yeah. And we still do not want to give Antonio Brown any credence for being crazy, right? Like there's people that's looking at Antonio Brown sitting at the Super Bowl saying, see, ain't nothing wrong with him.
Absolutely.
Right? Because we don't understand mental illness. So I'm done discounting black men's mental state. Okay. Because no one gives a fuck. Okay. Right? So if no one gives a fuck, then the person who normally don't give a fuck should probably give a fuck. And that's me. Okay. I'm normally the person who really don't give a fuck.
Okay, that is true.
So, if nobody else taking it serious, if I'm taking it serious, I'm hoping that is a red flag. Yeah. For everybody else to be like, well, damn. Like, if the person who really don't care about anything is starting to care, maybe we need to look into this a little bit more. I got to give Ben Simmons credit. If he says that, like, yo, my mental state was fucked, now, two things can be true. Does that mean that sometimes people aren't resilient as they should be? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But if someone isn't resilient, right? If someone was weak and you handed them something that was heavy and they couldn't pick it up, would you sit there and berate them for being weak, or would you go there and help them? Right?
Yeah.
You go help them.
Yeah.
So when we have people that might actually be mentally weak, right? That could be true. Yeah. But are we going to sit there and berate them, or are we going to go and assist them? I got to give black men credit now for actually starting to say, like, yo, I'm tired. Yeah. I'm exhausted.
Absolutely.
I've had enough, right? Like all the NBA players in the 80s, they worked for those shit salaries and those dub recordings and those terrible teams and no shoe contract. They did all that work so a Ben Simmons can make $20, $30, $40 million a year and can finally say, bruh, I need a break. Yeah. Right? And I can afford to take a break. Back then, you couldn't afford to take a break.
You couldn't.
These boys now, they can afford to take a break. I'm not going to fault them for that. They got to recognize, though, that it's because of everybody that came ahead of them.
Absolutely.
They got to recognize it. And if they recognize it and give it credit, then I'm going to give credence to what they feeling.
Absolutely. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Do me a favor, check on your friends. I hate the term, but it is so important to say. But check on your strong friends. Just check on somebody that you ain't heard from in a while.
Definitely.
I checked on a friend yesterday. I checked on Jamar, and it was amazing for him to. He asked me. He said, "Yo, did somebody tell you to check on me?" I was like, "Nah, I'm just checking on you." And he was like, "Bruh," and mind you, I text him at 11 at night, and he said, "Bruh, this just made my day." He said, "I've been sitting here in this room," and he's like, "I'm going through it or whatever." He going through some things or whatever, and he was like, "Bro, this just made my day that you really just checked on me just because." And it made me think about it. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start checking on other people. You know what I'm saying? So definitely check on somebody. Definitely send this podcast to somebody. Somebody tell Barack we said was good. He always listening. And we're gonna holler at y'all next time.
Holla at your boy.